98% success rate of even trying to attack the target. So that means 98% of the strikes do not land on the target, and instead you murder innocent women and children repeatedly. And also to people still serving in the military, Maggie's absolutely correct. I was under the fear that, a dishonorable discharge would just absolutely ruin my life, that I'd be, never finding a job and just be the scum of society, and that's not even the case. Most of the time when I apply for jobs, they don't even ask. So there is a GI rights hotline. People still serving can get out. You do have options, and that number, in case anyone's interested, is 1-877-447-4487. You do have rights. You can resist. You can become a conscientious objector. You can walk away, and there's other ways of getting a paycheck besides participating in Empire and the murdering of innocents. So, and we support you, and we'll be here for you. But just realize that you have rights.
If I could just tell you a story that happened to me just a few years ago, and this is kind of indicates how we're perceived around the world. And I was in London in 2012. We were launching the new chapter of Veterans for Peace in London, and Ben Griffin asked me to come to London and give a talk, and I said I would. I got there on Good Friday of April 2012, and I kind of got a little lost from Ben's directions, and I walked up to this person who was obviously, to me, was from the Middle East, and I asked him whether or not he knew where this address or how I could get there was. And he whipped out his cell phone and he looked at it and he said, well, you're about 20 minutes in the wrong direction. But he said, if you have a bus card, hop on the bus with me. I'll take you up to the corner. You can get a bus and you'll get right there. I'll tell you how to get there. So I did. And he got off the bus, and I was wearing an old military jacket that had a U.S. Navy Vietnam veteran and a Vets for Peace patch. And he looked at me and he says, you speak English, but you're not from here, are you? And I said, no, I'm from the United States. He said, you're in the military? And I said, I used to be in the military, but I'm with an organization called Veterans for Peace. And I'm here to help start a chapter of Veterans for Peace here in the United Kingdom. And he looked at me and he said the thing, I'll never forget this as long as I live. He said, are you telling me that there are really people in the United States that want peace? And I said, I just was flabbergasted. And I looked at him, I said, yeah, there are millions of people that want peace in the United States. And he said, I'm a Muslim. I want peace too. And he says, and he looked at me very intently, and he said, I would not harm a hair on your head. My religion is a religion of peace. Why does everyone think we want to kill people? That's just not true. He said, he looked around me and he said, I want peace. And this was a teeming, the most ethnic diverse neighborhood in London on a Good Friday afternoon, overcast, thousands of people on the streets. And he looked around and he said, we all want peace. And he said, I like you. And I said, I agree with you, I do. He said, well, your bus is coming. And I shook hands and I thanked him. And he turned away, and then he turned back at me and he said, I'm glad I met you today. He says, because for a moment now, I have hope in my heart and my spirit has been lifted. And he turned and walked away. I stood around and looked at him. I met him for maybe 3 or 4 minutes in a crowded London street. I'm raised Catholic. He's a Muslim. I'm from the United States. He's from, I don't know where. He lives there now, but he had an accent. Maybe he's from. And I thought, here's two people that just meet happenstance, and we want the same thing. And we're trying to figure out how to get it. And so sometimes when I really feel that the struggle is hopeless, I think back to that meeting. And it makes me want to, just continue on. And I think those kind of things, it's encouraging to know that there are people that really believe in what you're doing. My wife told me, she was in Istanbul a few weeks ago. She talking to a guy there, handed him a business card, said Veterans for Peace, my card on it. He just smiled, he says, Veterans for Peace? There's an organization like that in the United States? And she said, yeah. He said, I wish we had one here in Turkey. He said, I wish we had Veterans for Peace all around the world. He says, think what you veterans could do if you united for peace. I thought, there you go. That's what we want to do. And so, anyway.
So you've been listening to Barry Ladendorf, President of Veterans for Peace, and to my right we have 3 Iraq veterans against the war: Maggie Martin, Gary Eggleston, and Jason Maluhia. I want to thank all four of you, for being here. And just as a side note, we're live streaming here, and it just seems like wherever we go, live streaming music follows us. And I think that could potentially just be a good thing. It's just the energy. People, imagine how close we are right now. There's just so many police. There's military leaving, drone pilots leaving the base right now, and we're broadcasting live from the middle of this patch. Will it happen again? I don't know, but it's happening right now, and that's something to be said. Thank you all very much.